In this lecture, we will discuss theorem 3.9. This theorem states that the set of all lattice points, all visible lattice points as density 6 by pi square. We'll prove this theorem as an application of average root of phi of n. So for this, we use the notation n of r is the number of lattice points, lattice points, the square, the square with the center 0 0 and radius r. By radius we mean the length of one side is 2r. That is the meaning of this radius. From origin we have r unit to the right and r unit to the left. And the total number of lattice points inside that square is denoted by n of r, and n prime of r is denoted by the number of visible lattice points, visible lattice points inside the same square, inside the same square. So the density, by density we mean n prime of r divided by n of r as r tends to infinity. Okay, we know that we already discussed the theorem in the last lecture that says visibility of a lattice points depends on the GCD of the coordinates of A and B. Then, so that means if A comma B is visible if and only if GCD visible from origin. GCD of A comma B is equal to 1. Actually, this is the characterization that we have proved in the last lecture. So using this, we can say that there are infinitely many visible lattice points are there. So this theorem seeks the density of such or distribution of such visible lattice points in the plane. So first we will find this n prime of r and n of r, and by taking the ratio n prime of r divided by n of r as r tends to infinity. So that is what we have to meant by this density. Yeah. So in order to prove this, we will use the average order of phi of n. That's the importance of, or you can consider this theorem as an application of average order of phi of n. So first we can count this n of r. N of r is before that we need to consider the uh, xy plane first. So first we have to consider the xy plane. I divide the xy plane into four quadrants first. Then I divide it into four first and mark all lattice points here. This is 1 1, this is 1 2, sorry 2 1, 3 1, 4 1, 5 1, etc. This is 1 2, 1 3, 1 4, 1 5, etc. Uh, then you have 2 2 here, 3 3 here, 4 4 here, 5 5 here. Then you consider another line process all these points. Fine. So we need to, that means we divide the first quadrant again two symmetric regions. In those regions we can get uh, visible lattice points. Okay. So we will find what are the visible lattice points in this area. Then we will multiply it by 8. Then you will get the total lattice points inside that square. So first I mentioned that square. Suppose this is the square. I write it as radius is this is 1, and I put this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is 6 point something. So here we have 6 point something. 1, -1, -2, -3, -4, -5. Okay. Now you consider that consider this square first, and from this you have space. Then you have square. This is our required square. Okay, so we need to collect all the lattice points from the square and the total number of lattice points. We need to find all the lattice points from this square and the visible lattice points from the square. So we need to find the ratio of that. For that, we will collect all the lattice points in this square. We know that there are, if you consider the square, in the horizontal we have 2 times integral part of r plus 1 lattice points are there. In vertical, again we have the same number of lattice points are there. So n of r can be n of r is n of r is this is nothing but 2 times integral part of r plus 1 whole square. This is the total number of lattice points inside the square. Okay. Now we need to find the total number of visible lattice points from origin. So if you consider this origin and collect these 8 lattice points first. Okay, these are all visible from origin. So we can immediately get 8 lattice points which are visible from origin as these 8 lattice points. So in order to find the value of n prime of r, we will first count these 8 lattice points first. Okay, and plus now we will consider the lattice point inside this area and we will multiply it with 8. Then you will get all the visible lattice points inside the square. Okay, so our intention to find the visible lattice points inside this area. Clear? So inside this, if we count this lattice point, then these are all not visible from origin. Okay? Here we have this is visible from origin and this is visible from origin. So we need to collect the lattice points which are visible from origin except on the line y equal to x. Okay, so if I take m here and m here, we will collect for each n we need to collect m in such that which are visible from origin. Okay, we know that mn is visible from origin if and only if gcd of m comma n is equal to 1. Okay, so we already collect these two lattice points, so the variation of n starts from 2. Okay, so this n should be in between 2 and r. Okay, and what is this m? The possibility of if we fix an n first, then you can get m as this. We need to collect all those m's up to this. We need not worry about this. Up to this, which are relatively prime to n. These are the corresponding pairs. So we need to collect m in such a way that m1 less than or equal to m less than n. We need not consider m comma m or n comma n, which with the condition that such that m comma n is equal to 1. Okay, we need to collect the ordered pairs m comma n such that GCD of m comma n is equal to 1 in this manner. Clear? So these are the visible lattice points from the origin. So we will write it as sigma 2 less than or equal to n less than r equal to r, and sigma 1 less than or equal to m less than n 1. Okay, these are the this will give the total number of uh, uh, here we have this m comma GCD m comma n should be 1. Okay, so this will give the total number of visible lattice points in this region. Yeah, so we need to multiply it with some number. That if we choose 8, then you will get all the visible lattice points inside this square. Okay, so we will rewrite this as this is equal to 8 times, sorry, 8 plus 8 times sigma 2 less than or equal to n less than or equal to 5 of n. Okay, because this will give the total number of integers, positive integers, which is less than n and relatively prime to n. Okay, so therefore this will be equal to 8 times 1 plus this is nothing but phi of 2 plus phi of 3 plus etc. Or phi of inner part of r. Okay, so this will be written as sigma n equal to 2 to inner part of r phi of n. Okay, so this is equal to 8 times sigma uh, n less than or equal to r phi. Okay. So this can be written as if you replace this 1 by phi of 1, so this will be sigma n less than or equal to r phi of n. Okay, so we already discussed what is this partial sum is. So we know that phi sigma n less than or equal to x phi of n. In order to find the average order, we discussed what is partial sum is. So this will be equal to 3 by pi square x square plus O of x log x. Okay, so we can apply this formula here. So that will give 8 times this is 3 by pi square r square plus O of r log r. Okay, so this is equal to 24 by pi square r square plus again O of r log r. Here we r log r. Okay, so this is the value of this n prime of r. Now we consider this n of r again. N of r gives 2 times integral part of r plus 1 whole square. So this can be written as 2 times r plus O of 1. Okay, because this can be written as integral part of r can be written as r minus fractional part of r, and fractional part of r is again O of 1. So this can be written as 2r plus O of 1 whole square. Okay, so this will give 4r square plus 2r times this. Okay, that quantity can be written as O of r plus O of 1 whole square. O of 1 whole square is O of 1 itself. So these two times together we can write O of r again. So this will be 4r square plus. Okay, then we divide. What is n prime of r divided by n of r? N prime of r divided by n of r is equal to 24 divided by pi square times r square plus O r log r divided by 4 r square plus O of r. So take r square out and cancel. So that will be equal to 24 by pi square plus O of log r by r whole divided by 4 plus O of 1 by r. Okay. Now by taking limit r tends to infinity, n prime r will give n prime r divided by n of r will give 24 pi square by this is by as r tends to infinity, this term tends to 0 and this term tends to 0. So we will get this 24 by pi square divided by 4. That will be 6 by pi square. Okay. This is the density of that set called visible lattice points from the origin. Now we have section 3.9. In 3.9, we need to discuss the average order of mu of n and lambda of n. So we need to consider the partial sum and all. Before we dealing this, we need to mention some remarks on that. If we consider the partial sum and average order of this, you will get two equations: limit and x tends to infinity 1 by x summation n less than or equal to x mu of n equal to 0. Limit x tends to infinity 1 by x sigma n less than or equal to x lambda of n equal to 1. So actually these two results are the equivalent conditions of prime number theorem. That is in which we will discuss the distribution of prime numbers. So that result, the prime number theorem, can be stated as a limit x tends to infinity pi of x log x by x equal to 1. So we need to study this prime number theorem. Then we can easily get this average orders. So we just leave this study of this average order of mu of n and lambda of n at the stage of prime number theorem. So we just stating the result here, and we will discuss these average orders in later in the case of prime number theorem. However, the proof of this average orders are not so simple. So we will use this results to discuss the prime number theorem, or we will prove that these are equivalents and like that. So, we will not prove the exact proof of this average orders or prime number theorem in our syllabus. The next lecture we can see the partial order of partial sums of divisional product, section 3.10.